My turkey is all done, and I've set it aside for 20 minutes to let it rest. And I wanted to point out this little popper here, which is my temperature gauge for turkeys if you've chosen to go that way. Mine's popped up, and that's what it will look like when your turkey is done. Again, make sure that you put that into a super meaty part of the bird and not against a bone. So you want to go for the breast or deep into the thigh. Okay, so let's carve. The first thing I like to do when I carve the turkey, one, is to carve my turkey inside. I'm not a huge fan of carving at the table, even though sometimes, it can be beautiful. I just think it's messy. And I like to do things that are a little bit messy, kind of in, privacy and with places that can get a little dirty and then cleaned up. So I'm going to take off the hindquarters. Start with this wing. See, it's not dainty or delicate, and I'm gonna just go ahead and cut through the bone here. You'll be able to see this on your turkey. I'm not sure if you can see it here, but there we go. Turkey one. Let's see who gets the fight over that one. And then I'll do the other side. Again, you can cut through the meat along the edges until you get right to the bone. And it's good if you give it a little push. You're gonna have to kind of get in there. It's a big piece. Sometimes you can twist it off, but I think if you push it out enough, you can see where the bone and the joint combine, and you can stick your knife point there and press down, and generally it will snap. I have to tell you, it's gonna be this hard at your house. So if it looks like I'm working hard and I don't have a lot of upper body strength, well, I could probably use some work on my upper body strength, but believe me, you're gonna have to use a little bit of pressure to get that off of there. There we go. Finally, I got the joint, and there we go. Same for the wings. Should be a little bit easier. The joint there is always easier to see than it is with the drumstick. There we go. All right. So once I've gotten those pieces off, I like to go ahead and, there's a skewer. Thought I took them all out, but I like to take a little piece of the bird and kind of cut it in layers across the top. I think that the turkey tastes really good when you get a little bit of the skin on each of the layers. Otherwise, you can just cut the entire breast off and slice it if you want. And I'll do the entire breast on one side, and I'll slice the other, so you could see which serving method you might prefer for yourself. There you go. And turn my pan around. So there's my whole breast, unsliced. And then if I wanted to slice the breast, I would kind of go in and just cut off slices. I like mine pretty thick. I pretty much don't like to skimp on anything that you can eat. And I'll just put those also on my platter. And I would just keep going like that until I had carved my entire breast. Now, that's nice. That one came out really well. So I would maybe cut a few more pieces of the breast, since I've got a whole breast sitting over here along the side, and then I would flip my bird over and cut some pieces of dark meat from the back side of the bird. And so you can pretty much do the same thing. You can cut a little bit, same kind of slice along the back so that you can have some dark meat. There you go. pretty much by the time I've cut a little bit of dark meat, I've cut the drumsticks, I've cut my breast, I tend to have a little something of everything for everybody in my family. And the rest of the turkey, I usually leave sitting in the kitchen for me to refill the platter later. And a good portion of it, you know, like the carcass and things, I even keep that so that I can have a soup so I can use the bones for soup stock later. All right, I think I've pretty much pulled that apart enough to show you how that's gonna be done. Believe me, once you get those drumsticks off, it gets easier. Before I take that to the table, I would tuck in a little bit of greenery so that it can look pretty. My family will think, oh, she loved us enough to garnish. I do. That's just a little bit of parsley. You can use any kind of, you know, fall chickeny kind of herbs that you find. So, you know, parsley, thyme, tarragon, anything lovely like that if you've got it. Yeah. And I would take that straight to the table.